guys, so here I am for another mask on Monday. My name is Fawn, this is my channel. If you like what you see, please do click subscribe, thumbs up, all that. Now, as you know, I've been having a nightmare with masks of all sorts. So this week I'm punking out. I'm using this that came in one of my boxes. It's called Mud Masky. It's a caffeine one. I do feel the need today actually. I am feeling a bit sort of wan, and I'm also going to use some calming, soothing eye masks in Relaxing Lavender by Skin Techniques. So I'm not sure which to apply first really, but I sort of feel like I best put the eye ones on first so that I don't get the Mud Masky too high, because I know you're not supposed to with this. So I'll just figure this out and I'll be back. There we go. Do I look like I've got a really dirty face? It smells really strongly of, I think it must be cocoa nibs, or, I wonder if I can see on the back. Oh, I can't really put glasses on with this gooey face. I'll have to check on the end, even on the end. Okay. Lots of you asked after my latest, I think it was Stitch Fix, what lipstick I was wearing, and it's actually this one, the bright red one. Oh god, again, look, my eyesight is so bad. It's number 805. I am gonna have to put the glasses on. Whoa. 805 Orange Danger, Bold Audacious, and it's by, I want to say Maybelline. Is this Maybelline packaging? Oh, am I being thick? Honestly, guys. Orange Danger. Open it up. It's that one that looked really red. It came with my Mint Mongoose, I think it was. And I'm pretty sure that that is Maybelline packaging. Hang on. Does that say Maybelline? Oh my god, even with my glasses on. Yes, Maybelline. That was the longest effort ever, eh, to get that out. Ooh. So Maybelline number 805 Orange Danger. It doesn't come out very orange, I don't think. It's just a really bright shade of red. And it was free. Well, free. It came with a subscription box, so I suppose it isn't really free, is it? My eye masks are slipping. And my eyelashes keep getting stuck to something. I've obviously put a bit of the mask too close and my eyelashes keep getting stuck in it. It's a lovely day here today after the most miserable night. It was blowing a gale. It was, you know, I mean, nothing like what other countries are suffering. So please don't think I'm being, you know, pretentious or something. But for here, it was pretty miserable. And we're all pretty miserable because, of course, our Prime Minister has announced that we're going back into lockdown for at least a month. I know Wales and Scotland have been under it all the way along for a lot longer than us, and I have a feeling Ireland have as well, but we're going back into it as well now, which is, it's so difficult, isn't it? It's so difficult. I'm not a very political person, so I'm not going to be very political about this. I will just say I wouldn't want to be Prime Minister at a time like this, because if you ignore what the scientists are saying and we start dying in our thousands and thousands, then, you know, you'd probably be put on trial for you know, war crime or some bloody thing. But of course, if you do what the scientists want you to do, then you're an idiot, and, you know, and we're all going to suffer for it. So it's just, ugh, I would hate to be the one making the decisions. But we're back into lockdown. And of course, it's much worse in the winter. We're such a, you know, we're such a gloomy grey country in the winter that I think it's going to be much harder. So I hope that everyone out there who needs help isn't afraid to ask for help. And for everyone who, you know, is coping really well, check in on loved ones and friends, because depression is, you know, depression and anxiety, they're funny things, and sometimes you don't know how badly someone is doing. And something like this could push people much further than the bad, because the bad weather's a nightmare anyway if you suffer from depression and anxiety. But you know, the bad weather and then not allowed to go anywhere and do anything, and, you know, Christmas being under threat and all, you know, it's all very sort of gloom making, isn't it? So can you believe that these are slipping as well? I just anyway, that's me. I'll get off my soapbox. I just want you know, you all to be really well and happy and healthy, and your family to be happy and healthy, and I'm very aware that this is a miserable thing we're about to go through again. I'm going to the hairdresser's this afternoon. I was going on Thursday, but my hairdresser rang me and said, any chance you could come in on Monday, because I'm not going to be there on Thursday. So I am diving in because the greys are hurtling through. And of course the colour was much darker than I thought it was going to be. I said, I do like it, but it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. So she's going to have a go, I think, at trying to lighten up a bit, but at the very least getting rid of the roots, you know. Which is great, because these in particular, these ones here at the temples, they're just, oh, they're a complete pain. So yeah, hairdressers this afternoon. I've got a few other bits and pieces to do, but a post to do. And I realised in the middle of the night that I didn't draw my subscriber giveaway on Saturday. I can't believe that it just left my head. They've come so close together that I sort of somehow thought I'd done it, but you know, I haven't done it, and I realise I haven't done it. So I will be doing it this afternoon, I promise. So actually, yeah, no, it'll go up tonight as well. I might tack it onto the end of this or do it as a separate little thing. But I haven't actually forgotten, well, I haven't actually forgotten, I had forgotten, but I don't mean forgotten in the sense that, you know, I wasn't going to give the prize away, but I was sort of doing a little bit of, sort of housekeeping yesterday, you know, checking on bills and looking at subscriptions and things like that. And I thought, why is that box still here? Shouldn't I have an address for that box? And then I was like, oh no, because I usually do my posting on a Monday if I can. I was also exploring eBay because it looks like quite a lot of those sea salt dresses will be going. Judging by what people are saying, and yeah, I have got a lot of things that I've got tags on that are just sitting in the room next door, so I may as well have a go, mightn't I, and see if I can get something for them. So yeah, I will be drawing that later, which will go up tonight. Well, same sort of time as this, as I say. I don't know whether I'll combine them or not. I am wondering what to do now over this lockdown, and whether it is inappropriate for me to still be shopping like fury when everyone else is broke. There's the occasional comment that makes me feel a little bit unsure as to whether I am, you know, being horrible, a bit like Kim Kardashian with her holiday and everybody else is suffering. I do wonder whether people are thinking, oh, it's all right for her. You know, we're in the middle of a bloody pandemic. Oh, I just swore again. We're in the middle of a pandemic. And, you know, she's carrying on like Lady Muck. And it does, I mean, I'm not getting many, but there's the odd comment that just makes me think, oh, am I being deaf to what the world wants at the moment, or what's expected? So I'm considering cutting back on posting videos, maybe doing every other day rather than every day, because obviously, you know, I'll have less to talk about to you guys, because I just don't want to be insensitive and thoughtless, and it's the last thing I want. So I might, if I can get around to it, I might put it as a question on my discussion board if anyone can find it. I know a few people have. Might sort of get a vote going as to whether, yeah, whether I should cut back. I also cancelled a few subscriptions yesterday. I cancelled Anonymous Jewellery because I now do Mint Mongoose, and I preferred Mint Mongoose, although Mint Mongoose has not turned up this month, so I'm a bit, it said it was in the post, but, and the tracking shows it going places, but it hasn't arrived, or last month, in fact, it'll be October's box. So I've cancelled it for the time being, on good terms, but I've cancelled it for the time being. I also cancelled Flowers by Flourish, which never really, once or twice I showed it on here, but it just wasn't working for me. They were very pretty plants, but there were never any instructions or any, this is a this does that. You know, it was just, there was, you know, it would turn up a box with a couple of plants in it, and sometimes it didn't even have a blinking name on. So I'd have a heck of a job figuring it out. And I'm not a natural gardener, you know, I'm not somebody who's been doing it for years. So if you send me something a little bit unusual, I need a bit of information. So I've cancelled that one. Oh, and I cancelled my Happy Place. I have the last box coming from them because I wanted to give them a 3-month trial. Just purely because I have a lot of subscriptions on here. And, oh God, this is going really tight on my face. Purely because I have a lot of boxes on here and I pay for them all myself, which is not an issue at all. But it was sort of random things were coming in there. I couldn't quite figure out where it belonged in my life. So for the time being, anyway, it was lots of. I think the expression is tchotchke. You know, it was lots of little bits, which was nice for a one-off. You know, I could see myself sending that to somebody as a, you know, I miss you, blah blah blah. But having it every month just wasn't working for me. So excuse me, I've got to adjust my position, and I got a frog in my throat today. Just had a little drink of water. Like a baby sucking on a bottle. That's the thing with first thing in the morning. You're seeing it at my absolute worst. And I've got a zits come up on my nose. And my hysterectomy scar is acting up again, which I'm really a bit sort of bewildered at. It gets sort of a bit infected. Somebody did say to talk about the scars. I'm just going to have a quick look. And I think it was Andrea. Yes, Andrea. When I had my hysterectomy, I had it after many, many years of an awful lot of pain. That is sliding down again. And I went in to have keyhole, but I was told that it, you know, there was potential that it would have to turn into the old-fashioned hip to hip. And of course it did turn into the old-fashioned hip to hip. I was full of endometriosis, which if anyone doesn't know, I'm pretty sure we all do, you know, it's fairly horrible. It explains why when my period started when I was, you know, 13, my periods were always so painful. I mean, so painful. It wasn't uncommon to spend the night sort of crouched at the foot of the bed, just sort of bent over, rocking with hot water bottles and nothing would touch it. Had my kids, got a little bit better, but then as the years went on, from having my kids, it came back, roaring back. I'd had cysts on my ovaries a couple of times that had burst. So anyway, upshot was, I went in hopefully to have keyhole, and I ended up having the old hip to hip. And I went in with him hoping to leave me with at least one ovary because I was 41, I want to say, 41, I think, 42. And I ended up having my womb, my ovaries and my cervix removed because it had all melded and it had wrapped itself around and it was stuck to my bladder, stuck to my bowel, which explained a lot of funny symptoms I used to have. So I had drains and I had everything. And even worse, I went straight into menopause. You know, I was too young to have had any peri-menopause, you know, early menopause signs. Far too young for that. So I'd gone to they'd knocked me out. I was going to say gone to sleep. They'd knocked me out, and I was sort of a fairly normal woman. And I woke up with the worst flush in the history of mankind. I think I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't prepared. Menopause hadn't even sort of appeared on my horizon yet, really. And this big hip-to-hip scar. And unfortunately, my scar healed really, really strongly. And I mean, I'm saying unfortunately, guys, because that is what's caused this pooch. Obviously, it was fortunate. I mean, I healed strongly. But what happened was that the scar line is tight, like a piece of string. And of course the rest of me isn't tight. The rest of me is billowy and blumply and, you know, all those sorts of things. So I am literally like, you know, if you took I'm trying to think of a fruit or something. But if you take something and you tie a bit of string around it, you get this weirdness that goes on. Because I have, in effect, a piece of string that runs from my hip to my hip, which is my scar. I know in America you can get it revised, because my sister-in-law had the same thing. After having my her eldest son, my nephew, she ended up having a cesarean at the last minute. because I think because it was the last minute, it was a slightly bigger scar than normal, and the placement wasn't as good, and you know, it was an emergency one, so fair enough. And she had pretty much the same problem as me with this sort of stringness and not very good. But when they moved back to America, when she came back to visit about sort of 18 months after they'd gone back, she said, I've got to show you something. And she'd said she was going for surgery to have her scar revised. And I thought, in my head, I thought it was the appearance of it, as in maybe it discoloured or something. I mean, that's how dopey am I. I didn't really think about the fact that it, you know, it was this effect, this tightness. And she showed me her tummy, and she's a curvaceous woman like me, so she has tummy, you know. But the string has gone. The string has gone. It has been released away from what's underneath, and I am very jealous of that, and I do sometimes consider having that done. And then I think to myself, don't be so bloody vain, you're 52, what does it matter? But sometimes in clothes it matters. You with me, ladies? Sometimes we want to do these things to make ourselves feel better. Not because society says we should or we shouldn't, just because we hate certain things about ourselves. So sometimes I think about it, and if I ever do, I will take you guys along with me. I will take you guys along with me with everything. I was going to go and get Botox and some fillers and things like that, and take you along with me, but we're back in lockdown, so who knows. But yeah, that's basically how I came to have a hysterectomy. It was earth-shattering. It was a horrific, you know, I was not prepared at all in any way, shape or form for how I would feel after. Yes, it had been terribly painful. Yes, it had been, I mean, I once, we were out with friends, we had friends visiting, and I literally couldn't straighten up. We'd gone out and just sitting in the car for a little bit. In fact, I think I drove, I don't remember. Oh no, I didn't, because it was so painful. And we got out, and I literally could not stand up because of the pain, and it used to affect my back as much as my front. So I knew I really needed it doing, and it was the right thing, but I got bounced into doing it really, really quickly with no sort of thought about, I was more preoccupied because I was frightened of the operation, because I hadn't had an operation since my tonsils out when I was a little girl. So I was pretty scared about that, and I spent a lot of time thinking about, oh, you know, what if it goes wrong? What if I don't wake up? All those sorts of things that you think, and didn't actually think about the after effects. But again, you know, he had assured me that he would leave me an ovary, so I suppose he thought it's not something we really need to discuss, because you won't go straight into menopause. They don't like you to go straight into menopause at that sort of age anyway. And I know some people end up even younger going into it, but so it just wasn't something that really hove on the horizon. And then, you know, boom, there I was. I did try HRT. I was only allowed one kind because of the endometriosis, because, I mean, he took out as much as he could, but there were still endometrial cells still in there. And any kind of hormones will make them swell and grow. So I was only allowed one kind, which is a synthetic type. But unfortunately, I started having periods, which is very spooky when you have no womb, no ovaries, and no cervix. So they got taken away, and I've just had to tough it out. And it hasn't been a nice road. I'm sort of almost, what am I? I'm about 9 years, 10 years away from, God, maybe even 11 years away from having had it done. And I still get hot flashes, not on the level that I used to, but I do still get hot flashes. But that's where my hip to hip scar comes from. And as I say, if I could get it revised, I sometimes think I should, because it really, really is, you know, if you took a loaf of bread, that's the best way to describe it. A loaf of bread, and tied a piece of string around it, but tied that too tight, and you know, across, on me it's my hips. You'll see what happens, and there is nothing I can do about it. Whether I'm dressed, whether I'm not dressed, there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't want to spend my life wearing shapewear. I run hot. I run hot, so I would be, you know, it would be horrific to do that. So most of the time I just embrace it. But I know some of you guys think that I maybe put the wrong message across when I talk about it, it is very much, I accept it as a part of me now. I've had it for a long time. As I say, I do think about getting it revised, but I am mostly really, really happy with the way that I look, and, you know, and it's my lap buddy. I don't hate it. I wish it wasn't there. It's like a really welcome guest. You've waited for them, you're so happy to see them, but after a while you do wish they'd go home. It's the same sort of thing. So I don't hate myself. You know, body positivity, come on guys. I'm quite happy. You know, if I give you the impression that it's something that really, really gets me down, please don't think that, because it doesn't. It's just we talk clothes a lot on this channel. And in clothes, it matters, it counts, it has some impact. So, yeah, it's a part of being a woman, isn't it? All these different things. We have scars. Some people have the same scar from bringing their children into the world. How wonderful is that? So, you know, I'm not worried about it. Okay, now, yes, oh God, this is as dry as anything, and these are sliding. So I'm going to go and wash this off, and we'll have a look, see whether I look rejuvenated. So there we have it. How do I look, ladies? Feels nice. I've got a terrible spot coming on the side of my nose. It does feel nice. I'm a bit pink, which is probably a part of the rejuvenating. I know it was a little bit tingly around my lips, but that was nice. I'm quite happy with that. I'm glad I did eye masks as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I know. Let's just do a funny one before I go. So, well, not a funny one, but you know what I mean. Have I ever experienced ghosts or believe in them? Kimmy asked. I've never experienced them, but I do believe in them. Not really ghosts. I believe in the spirits of people visiting us. I do believe that. I do believe that. I know how much I love my family, let's put it that way. And if you think I'm leaving, no, I am not. Heaven has got nothing to offer compared to keeping an eye on the people that I love and seeing them, you know, happy and seeing them get through things. And I love the fact that I believe that my father is around. So I kind of do believe in ghosts, but I have never seen one. I'm always very excited when my dad comes to me in my dreams. I'm not a big, I think we all dream every night, but I'm not one of these people that remembers many of her dreams. But when occasionally I have a dream and I do remember that my dad was there, that's always very, yeah, it makes me very happy. So actually that wasn't a funny question. What am I doing? Anyway, that's me. That was Mask Monday. A less messy one, which is nice. And I still haven't looked to see if there's cocoa bean in that. But, or maybe it's just the coffee I can smell. I can't place it, but I would say it was cocoa bean. Anyway, I hope you all get your masks out and have a go. And this is me signing out, but I will be back to do the draw for the prize winner. Okay, bye guys.